Hi, I'm Mark.
And I'm Tatenda. Welcome to the Cool Fucking Tech Podcast.
An in depth look at the latest and best tech startups led by underrepresented founders.
We're interviewing some of the most successful tech startups about how they aim to change the world.
So, Tatenda, I have a lot that has been on my mind lately. I'm just joking. No. So it's really interesting, a lot of the things that we're seeing today, and I think it's really really fucking intense how things like just keep getting worse and worse and worse and worse. And I thought it'd be kind of cool for us to talk about, how instead of, essentially we were doom scrolling just our phones previously, right now it just kind of seems like we're doom scrolling reality. And I kind of want to get like your opinion and stuff on it, Tatenda.
Doom scrolling reality. Tell me what you mean by that. Because I know what Wikipedia says about doom scrolling, but when you say doom scrolling reality, what do you mean, Mark?
Yeah, I guess like, man, you crack me up all the time, bro.
Man, it's a legit question.
No, I know, you just always crack me up. I don't know, like it's just me, man. It's not you.
Man, I should be. Yeah, go ahead.
So, like when we're doom scrolling, a lot of social media and stuff, they have algorithms to kind of keep us constantly excited. And really, these algorithms are just a new iteration of sensationalism in the news. And we keep going just to see something worse and worse and worse and worse because it just barely tickles that fancy of shock value in our mind, and we're addicted. Um, and that happened maybe a couple years ago where they took off basically the end of the timeline for Facebook, and you could just keep scrolling forever and ever and end up wasting all your time. And now it just seems like oh, the economy wasn't good, and then oh, it's pandemic, and then now it's World War III, and just like worse and worse and worse. Actually, it probably started with Trump. It's like, oh, Trump sucks. Like, okay,
Right.
He's being an idiot. Like, oh yeah, he cheats on people. He says like all these like gross things. Like, not gross as in gross. Gross as in like, what the fuck? How is the world here at this stage? Like,
Right.
And then it was like pandemic, and they're like, oh, even in the pandemic, you could separate that off into sections, right? Which is like, first bit of that pandemic, there was a lot of hope. It was like, oh, 2 weeks, we just got not. We just got not
We'll be
fuck
back
on
to
Tinder
work
for 2 weeks.
in 2 weeks, man. Damn.
And this whole thing will be over, man. And then like, a month is like, just another month of no Tinder. Like,
Right.
But it just worse and worse and worse. And now Ukraine is all like, yo, I'm gonna fuck Mother Russia, and I don't give a shit if we start nuclear war.
Right.
It's wild, man. So like, what's up?
You just like blew up all my talking points, so I have nothing to say. Like we should just like hit stop and like end the podcast. You know
That
what
is
I mean?
not. That's not a proper response.
Dang man. My 30 minutes of preparation just went out the window.
Out the window.
Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting, right? Like I think for me the thing that I find interesting about the phenomenon of doom scrolling is that, at least like based on my limited Wikipedia and internet research, it kind of is a response, right? That we have to learning about possible things that could harm us. But then like the messed up thing about doom scrolling, right, is like that itself ends up having a detrimental value to our well-being, right? So it's kind of like this negativity loop that you're talking about, right? And one of the things that I thought was even worse about the effect is just trying to think about how we've created these technologies that are supposed to help us, but actually contribute to making this problem worse, right? So the algorithm is designed to feed us this content that we would want to see, right? It's a recommendation system, right? You log in, You click on pictures of cats, it shows you more pictures of cats. But in this case, you log in and you look at all this negative news, and it gives you more negative news. You know?
Right. Yeah. Yeah, and
And
like, go ahead.
what was I gonna say? I guess what I was gonna say is that it uh, it uh, it has this effect that, man, I got this whole thing that I was thinking about. This is like the only part of like all this that I did the most work on, right? I call it the Terminator effect.
Okay.
Right? Like in Terminator the movie, like you have like the machine Skynet comes back and tries to destroy humanity. That's pretty
Mhm.
much like what we've created right now with the systems and the technology that we have in place. You know what I mean?
I was literally gonna bring up, just because you hit on like something that was really fucking cool to say, which was there's a feedback loop, and like in the bare minimum, like the premodal form of that feedback loop is
Yeah.
like this extremism that we propagate through social media,
Yeah.
right? Which is like I think like the stereotypical example is like the January 6th riots, right? Like
Right on.
where they tried to storm the Capitol, where it's like these people kept like, hating and hating and hating, and they're fed their hate and fed into this echo chamber until it just made these people so extreme to where they'll just run up on Capitol Hill. You know what I'm saying? That's like,
Right.
that to me is what, that to me, previous to January 6th, was an impervious idea. Like there's no way I would have ever thought you could have gotten so deep into, Congress just by storming the building, until I just saw 100,000 people just go for it like animals,
Man,
bro. Like,
it's
I would have
a
never
wild
thought that was
idea.
possible. Yeah,
It's wild. It's wild. It's
Yeah.
wild.
And I think even in like a Terminator, I like that you said Terminator, because I think there was like a thing where like in one of the later movies where like basically them trying to save humanity is what made Skynet type thing. It was like one of those full time circle, time loop things,
Yeah, but in this case, in our reality, it's
Right.
like we made the machines to help us, and then the machines helped us destroy ourselves, kind of a thing.
Right. I think I get what you're saying, but I think like there's some sort of parallel in my mind. There's a really strong parallel in my mind to like social media, like Instagram particularly, and technology that were related to smoking cigarettes, where they just purposely made it addicting, and they sent it to kids. They sent it to kids, and they have these huge fucked up mental issues because of it, and they're addicted, and there's just no regulation right now because they didn't realize like that was what was going on. Like when they first packed cigarettes, people were smoking for forever, man, and no one's having a problem for the longest time. But then they packed nicotine in it. They wrapped it up in paper, put nicotine in it, and they forced an addiction. And then that's when everyone started smoking. You see all those like 1960s photos of like kids just being a chimney.
Right.
So I feel like Facebook and stuff, they hire psychologists. They do studies on like, okay, what will keep you the longest? Like, how do we get you actually addicted? So I mean, I get
is the answer that negative news is basically, are the psychologists telling Facebook and Instagram that, hey, there's this thing called negativity bias, we should just exploit that and keep the humans hooked?
I mean, it's like it's stimuli, right? You're always gonna be like stimulated by fear in some regard, right? Like that is like an innate human thing. It's like a survival bias, really. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
And it's just getting leveraged to a point where, where if you're 13, whatever, 14, you get exposed. And I'm using terms to like really hammer home. Like people don't really realize, like, you go on Facebook there's an army of people that are there to make sure that you stay on Facebook.
So, is it possible for us to separate the idea of um the idea of the I guess like purpose built addiction in the system and just the idea of us using the system to doom scroll, or the system aiding us in doom scrolling? Can we separate like those two ideas, or do you think that they're too intertwined? Like a part of it is that the system is actually designed to help us doom scroll better, or at least like these technologies are actually designed to help us doom scroll better.
Yeah, I get what you're saying, but I'm not sure if I fully understand it. So, that's me talking as a PM, dude. Hard right there, man. Let me say back what you said to me, right? But
Right.
uh, let's take like the antithesis. Do you think it's possible to doom scroll where there's no negative? Like doom scroll is already kind of like a negative connotation, but do you think it's possible to doom scroll where it's like positive scrolling? It's like you just feel constantly better and better and better.
I think so.
You know what I'm saying?
But basically, it's like you and I are feeding everybody, news on the internet. You know what I mean? Like there has to be like a guy who's there. Like every time Mark types in like doom, like you get a picture of a flower, kind of a thing. But that's not. That's not how the
flower's gonna do it for me.
I don't know. Like you know what I mean? So
yeah.
So I was thinking precisely about that. One of the questions that I had for you, for us rather, like, is there a shortage of happy news out there? You know what I mean?
I think there was like a study that was just like happy news versus sad news, and they found like the person stays way longer with sad news.
Damn.
And I know that they did like a study, I know it was like a couple years back, where like they did a full study on like trying to manipulate not just the behavior of staying longer, but trying to manipulate somebody's actual perception about the world around them. So like basically what they wanted to do was see if they could make someone depressed or make someone happy. And they found that they were able to do it. And it's really scary because essentially, there's people that are participating in like a real psychological experiment and they don't even know, right? Like,
right.
And that's scary as fuck to me, man. Like, I've seen a lot of people get depressed from social media, and it's kind of just sad. Like, everybody's trying to live this fake life, and you know what I'm saying? Like, everyone's trying to do it, dude. Like, I have nice Instagram photos.
I've got like, I just thought of this, like what's the fakest place on earth that you can think of? Like,
dude, I don't know, man. I don't know if that's a good question because it's like I don't know.
Because you know they say LA is fake, right? Like everybody out in LA is fake.
You're just hating on me because I moved, bro. I moved
to
LA and all of a sudden
you
lose friends, guys.
I know. So my hypothesis is like, they took LA and made that the internet.
And I feel like Instagram isn't LA.
Is it?
Vibe. Not like it's not LA company,
I feel you.
But it's an LA vibe, bro. Like
I feel
the people that are way on Instagram are way on LA, like
I feel you.
But I'm trying to think what is the fakest. I don't know if it'd be a part of me feels like Reddit could be the fakest just because like you don't have to put anything about yourself out there other than like a paragraph and a picture. Like and it's a picture of like your stock account that you photoshopped or some shit, like Wall Street bets, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
But Instagram is pretty up there.
Or your what do we call those things? Like the Bored Ape? Do you even need that on Reddit?
Bored Ape NFT. You don't even need that to like, convince someone that you're someone. You know what I'm saying?
Right. It's all text based, but damn.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Snapchat. Do we think Snapchat is like more authentic? I'm actually kind of curious.
So that's the thing, I guess. We're now touching on a thread, a part of a thread of conversation that we had um, in our NFT episode, which is really asking the question of what the definition of reality really is in this century. You know, like we're looking at our digital personae versus our IRL selves, and like how those two things are kind of like, you know,
meshing or
meshing
not,
at this
or
point. So I can't even say, what's the fakest place, and then make that Instagram or vice versa. Like the two things are just like inseparable at this point. But
I get it. You passed through
now,
the same images, my bro.
yeah,
Stories
yeah,
of, like- yeah.
I know. So, going back to this question of whether or not there's just an increase in negative news, or there is more negative news than happy news. What do you think that tells us about, I guess, the state of current times?
Humanity,
Yeah, of humanity.
like the Doomsday clock.
Yeah.
Well, the Doomsday clock
Yeah.
is 15 seconds to midnight right now, so we're fucked.
What's the doomsday clock, Mark? What is that?
So the Doomsday Clock, I don't know exactly when it was made. I want to say the 1960s too. I don't know. Maybe I'm just saying 1960s a lot tonight. But it was a measurement of how
Cigarettes.
close we are. What? Cigarettes and Doomsday Clocks, dude. Same time. This is peak humanity. This is
Yo, that's the episode title, man.
Cigarettes and Doomsday Clocks, peak humanity. Please,
Yeah.
peak humanity.
Exactly. So yeah, tell us what you know about the doomsday clock.
Right. So it is created by an international council of scientists to help ward off basically nuclear destruction. And it was during the Red Scare. So that puts it firmly in the 1960s, maybe a little earlier.
Probably
And basically,
like 19 when
Yeah.
40s probably, I would say.
Yeah, well, like there was a buildup. I think it was like after, I want to say it was like after the Bay of Pigs that they like really were like, okay, guys, we need to do something about this as scientists. And
Right.
so what they did is they made a clock to represent how likely we are to fucking destroy ourselves. And midnight is mutual destruction. I just
Right.
think it's the funniest thing. They're just like, yep, let's make a clock. And even the design of the clock was really interesting. I watched like a whole documentary on just designing what mutual destruction looks like for mankind for some reason. But yeah, it was start off with the likelihood of nuclear destruction of the world. But now like it supposedly incorporates a lot of other things like a pandemic. And
Yep.
also now there's a pandemic, there was nuclear warfare, and then there was like comets and stuff, like something outside of space. But basically, as the clock moves, it's almost always related to nuclear warfare. There was another factor, which is actually ironically and very close to this podcast. It's overall economic instability, particularly the variation of like economies across the world, because that leads to higher warfare percentages. So even during the course of the pandemic, there is the worst were doing worse and the best were doing better, right? So that was like pushing the clock up. And now Ukraine is putting us in a very similar situation to World War I, World War II. So we're really close, man. We're really living on the edge. Now no one can tell me that I don't live life on the edge, and that's
I know,
the important part about
you
this.
just like point them to the doomsday clock.
Yeah,
and,
I'll be like,
there it is.
excuse me?
There it is,
Excuse me? You think I don't take risks?
Yeah, I'm living a risk right now.
I woke up this morning.
I know. The one thing that I've been thinking about this clock is whether or not it adequately accounts for the effects of technology towards our own destruction.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's like almost evident that it doesn't, right? Like, I think the
Because they
thing
say
is that
it does, right? But then I feel like we would be closer. So I guess what I'm trying to say is like we would be closer, or at least there should be more weight because of the ripple effects, right? Because it's not only just say direct impacts of things such as the hacking of energy utilities, right? Cyber warfare and things of that nature. But then you're also looking at how technology, we're trying to solve the energy crisis, but also at the same time, like advancing in technology means we're putting more crunches, more strain on resources such as energy and vice versa.
right.
You know what I mean? So those kind of effects, I feel like, are not adequately accounted for, but I could be wrong.
Yeah, I mean, I think like right now it has like a panel of like actual economists as opposed to just like a bunch of nuclear physicists that are just like, yo, we could build bombs now. What's the chance of us dying, you know?
Man, I'm gonna look this up. Like,
Yeah.
who's on the Doomsday?
Who's on this console? How do we apply?
I
Pretend
actually,
it gets in there.
man, can you imagine that me like
I would
setting the
love it,
Doomsday
dude.
clock? Man, that'd
Your
be so
Instagram and Snapchat would both have stories about.
sick. Dude.
I'm on the Doomsday Clock committee.
All day long. So what do you do? When do you set the clock? Once a year. Bragging. Oh yeah. So that's what I'm thinking about. Like, are we really like taking into account like all the ripple effects of the advancements of technology towards our own destruction? The reason why this is of interest is because we're in an energy crisis. Like the whole world kind of runs on energy, and then like there's this whole thing where right now, right, like we're trying to go from using fossil fuels to using greener and cleaner sources of energy, and then just looking at the ripple effects that has, right? Like, are we really ready for that transition? Where we're gonna get the energy from and the resources to actually store the energy? Because there's energy generation and then there's also storage, right? And right now it sounds like the only bit that humanity has to do any sort of like storage within the grid is also going to incorporate batteries, right? So you're going to have electric vehicles, you're going to have batteries for that, and so on and so on. So just like thinking about those effects, I don't know what your thoughts are on that.
Like, I think it's really interesting now. So like this kind of interplays with like the Fermi paradox, which is like if the universe has been around so long, why haven't we seen another species that just takes us over? Because the chances of our civilization being advanced enough to basically traverse the whole universe or the whole galaxy is very high. So it's like, are we the first ones? Does everyone just kind of eradicate themselves? Yada yada yada. There's a couple different solutions that are all just interesting thought problems. But one of the main things is like the civilization itself is almost always graded on its energy consumption. So I think like basically there's 4 stages to civilization. First stage is like utilizing some energy of the sun, and then second stage, what they call a second stage civilization, I think utilizes all the energy emitting from their nearest sun. And right now we've already kind of integrated, even though we're still very primordial in terms of like the Fermi complex, right? Or a paradox. We are already fighting wars now where it's just energy. We're waging war right now on Russia. That's just us banning oil, right? That's like we're doing economic wars, right? And it's not even. And if you really think about it, the ability to shut off so much of the market in a very efficient way, the ability to like shut off the back channels to banks, the ability to shut off McDonald's, Starbucks, and all these other brands in Russia, the ability to boycott so effectively is actually all hinged on technology and energy, really, because all of those pipelines essentially are on the internet,
Right.
and that's what's really creating our dependency on electric and batteries and energy generation. And it's interesting that we've integrated so far to where a nuke, somebody, I think even Biden said this line, like he was all like, oh, we're doing the equivalent of 10 nukes on them economically, right? So it's actually really interesting that energy could do more damage than a nuke, yet the doomsday clock is basically indexed on a nuke.
Crazy.
You know what I'm saying? It's just kind of like full circle, and I don't really know, man. Like it's interesting, our dependency and our interconnectedness, right? Which is like
Exactly.
we're fucking over Russia, no doubt. But I really hate paying $7 a gallon for gas.
Man, that shit is whack.
Yeah, yeah.
Not going nowhere, man.
It's interesting how ubiquitous technology is. I guess it's kind of going back to what you're saying. You're just way smarter than me, Tatenda. You're like 5 steps ahead.
Stop it.
But
man.
like,
come on, man.
Nah, my dude. It's just like there's a feedback loop, right? Which is like the technology is telling us to like be shitty to other people or have a shitty economy. The economy drives a war. The war leverages technology to make the war worse, like
yeah.
And it's just kind of like, fuck, we're like in this ride for the, like we've been through so much, Tatenda. Did you send me that meme? Who sent me that meme? It was all like, we went through an economic crisis, a war, a second war, a second economic crisis.
Let me pull up that meme real quick. I feel like this whole episode was like a couple of memes that I sent you, and we're like, this is an episode. You know what I mean?
Yo, what are episodes other than memes?
Right on.
What is life other than a meme? Honestly, that meme pretty accurately described most millennials' lives. So,
dude, I don't. Oh, okay. Hey, I thought you like blocked me on Instagram or something.
What?
What? I couldn't find you, man. I panicked.
How funny
man.
would that be to like discover right in the middle of?
I know, man. I panicked. So the first one was found this comment on Reddit, and it really captures the moment. It's crazy that there's a live stream of a burning nuclear power plant in a battlefield between two major European countries. But before you can see it, you have to watch a Domino's ad.
Bruh, you ordered that pizza though.
Bro, you did.
It was $10 Tuesday.
Right. And then the second meme was, it's basically like, it's hard. It's so hard to read out memes. You know what I mean? We should post these memes like as part of the episode liner.
You have to put on your meme voice, man. I want to hear some quality Tatenda meme voice.
I don't have a meme voice.
It's because you're too fake, dude.
We should do like voice acting classes. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I feel it.
That would like up the production value of this podcast.
I tried to do voice acting, and my brother he heard my audition, and he just makes a ton of fun of me, man. Like I will never relive that life. Like it's for a video game. But go on.
But yeah, so the second one is like a reaction, right? It's like millennials living through Y2K, 9/11, a plague, 2 economic recessions, and a possible World War III before they hit 40, And the guy is like, I know this sounds crazy, but I think we're in a bad place. That's like been every year.
Hey, that was some good voice acting. Yeah,
I'm trying, man. I'm trying. Why did I even read out these memes? I forget.
Dude, because it was related. You said it was the whole episode on our thoughts. And I honestly, memes are just so satirical, but I feel like they're the only bits, going back to doom scrolling and stuff.
Yeah.
I feel like it's the only bits of truth on the internet sometimes. Like, I feel like I read more truth from a meme than I do from like CNN or Fox or something. Like for sure from like more than Fox.
Why can't maybe I feel like memes are like the unofficial newsletter of the internet.
Right, yeah.
But like you can't cite memes in a podcast. Like we're probably gonna get taken down off of Spotify. Like, oh man, they're citing memes.
Oh, dude.
You know what I mean?
They're gonna take us down because we're not Joe Rogan, man. That's what's up. Like we're just
we
just
not
can't
Joe
tell
Rogan.
people to drink hydrochloroquine or whatever the fuck. Like we're just gonna get taken down, man. It's fine. We're on this ride, dude. We already survived all those other things. We could survive our podcast getting taken down by Spotify.
I know. Like the episode liner notes are all memes, dog. Like that'd be so funny. But anyway. So the reason I brought up those two specific memes was because of this thing which we're talking about, right? The prominence of negative news and how I guess like for millennials and just like anybody in general, it just feels like more and more like we're getting closer to the end of times. Like that's the reason I brought them up. But to take us back to the story of energy, we've gotten to a point where major economies, right, like you're saying, are realizing, how much of an energy deficit there is, and how much of a shortage of all these other raw materials that we need, including things like lithium, right? That are needed to basically support, storage of energy, electrification of vehicles, and all these other kind of like adjacent industries, right? Because we're basically playing catch up. We're trying to make this transition, and nobody's really like geared up to support where things are going. Pretty much like how we're trying to make technology change to serve us better, to and to reduce the harmful effects of fossil fuels on the environment, right? And so there's this like multi-billion-dollar, I guess, like maybe the project isn't multi-billion-dollar, but like there's like a ton of lithium sitting under the Salton Sea in Southern California.
I'm down.
You know what I mean? Have you been out there?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I have. I went to. This isn't gonna make any sense to you. Have you ever heard of Painted Canyon?
No, but I know like the hill
okay.
with the yeah, I don't know. Go on, tell me about.
You're talking about it's just out there. It's just out in the middle of nowhere. It's like literally on the way to Painted Canyon. You had to drive by the Salton Sea, and it's just wild.
Right on.
Yeah, I think it's crazy. I was gonna say it's really interesting to think about minerals now as a vehicle for like modern colonialization, right? Which is like lithium is like one of the main blood minerals of our time. Like we went from blood diamonds in the previous generation to now like just fucking lithium, And it's interesting because lithium is one of those materials that's actually like truly hinged on its utility.
Right.
It has no function other than its utility. And so what we'll see economically and like what we've been seeing economically is like the cost of shipping it and stuff costs energy. So it's prohibitive for like us to like really ship it in all the time or be dependent on other nations. And like right now, America is going through this whole thing of like, let's make it here. Let's do this. It's because we realize like how much risk we have in these supply chains. And it's just like incredibly interesting to see basically how we're mine ourselves to basically fight economic wars and energy wars across, right? So like I'm sure that we're going to leverage this high gas point. I literally heard it today, right? Which is one of these coworkers, he has the like electric Porsche and he's like, "Oh, I only fill in $10 worth of gas. The Porsche's paying for itself." I know. Look at you, man. You're just looking down, laughing. I get it, man. I get it. But like, it's the seedling is there, which is like, I could pay for a Porsche rather than pay for gas, like, and that's going to make us mine and develop all these technologies. And it's kind of why we're thinking about mining, like, the desert, right? Like, if we were in a time like a non-hard pressed time, we'd be like, oh no, the migratory birds pass through there, which they do. But now we're just like, yo, fuck it, we're gonna dig the shit out of that lithium right now. Like, we're gonna get that, and we're gonna make some Tesla batteries. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's just kind of a joke, Like, it's crazy, but it's all like comparative. It's competitive advantage, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's controlling a market.
Yeah.
Even when we said like, hey, we're boycotting Russian oil, really what you did is you just like started to take control. You started to nationalize the oil industry. You know what I'm saying? Now you're saying I can control the whole flow of oil into this country.
Right.
And hey, I'm going to use this, this $10 a gallon pain point to make it, easier for you to go buy the Tesla or any other electric vehicle. So it's just kind of, it's wild to me, man. Like, honestly, I just regret not buying property there.
I've watched a couple of documentaries about the Salton Sea. Like it was once like one of those. It was supposed to be, I guess, like this resort for the wealthy.
Ultra rich, man. Yeah.
Man, it just like all went to crap pretty much. And
it's crazy, dude. It's like literally insane the ideas that they had back then. Like, because growing up, it's like a big deal. Like, there'd be people with asthma and stuff because of all the dirt that would, the dust that would blow off from it. Like, everyone from the Salton Sea and stuff has, I think they're 60% more likely to be asthmatic than like the normal person. It's crazy to me, man, because they'd be like, oh, we're going to put $20 million to like rectify the situation. And it's like, no, it's just a money hole the whole time. Like, it's just nothing ever happened, man. Like, people still live out. It's like one of those weird places in America where literally, I don't know if you know Slab City. Have you ever heard of Slab City?
That's what I was trying to rack my brain. I went to Slab City.
Did you really?
Is that what we're talking? I forgot. I don't know what I'm talking about now.
What?
What is Slab City?
Slab City is like a series of
Yes, that's like right next to
Anarchy. It's legit Anarchy City.
Yes, man. I went through there.
Okay, so like the thing is like they put all the money for that area, and it's still one of those like one places in America where it's fucking like dirt poor, like still like rampant violence, rampant like there's not even laws. People are like living in destitution. Like no one is. There's just like crazy shit there. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just wild to me that like came on the behest of like a bunch of millionaires just blowing their money to make a lake in the middle of the desert.
It's one of those places which really like I guess like captures the state of humanity, right? Like where like in the midst of all the wealth is right next to it is where you find like the poorest people. But now in this particular case, right, like all the wealth kind of like disappeared, right? Well, not kind of, like literally disappeared. Like they up and left.
Right. It looks so post-apocalyptic too, man. Like you ever see those like pictures of those? Yeah.
I went out there alone, man. I don't even know what I was thinking, man.
Did you really? What?
Dog, look at my face right now, dog. I'm shook. Like I like think about that trip. And I'm like, I don't know what I was thinking. I thought it was, like you see the pictures, right? And you think, oh, Salvation Mountain, like this place is going to be amazing, right? Like it's so colorful and blah, blah, blah. All these, things that you see online. And then, you get there and like the destitution and the poverty and like the nothingness out there just kind of blows you away because that's the majority of it, right? So yeah, I went there alone. Like I do not encourage people to take solo trips to Slab City. Like, don't do it. To Salton Sea, like don't do it.
Dude, Slab City, that's sketch, man. Like I know. Like, oh fuck, dude. Like
I know.
Saw the meth heads and stuff, but
So now they're trying to build this like giant lithium mining plant. I don't even know if you consider that mining. I guess it is mining.
It is
they
mining.
Drill a hole. into the bottom of the lake, and you extract like this molten lithium, and then you process it and etc. And I just don't trust that that capitalism will revitalize the region, right? Like we've seen this story play out before.
Right.
It's the exact same script. It's like, come on, dog. Like,
Yeah, man.
you're not gonna pull this one over, right? But the hope
like
is there, right? Like that's always the case. Like the hope is there. Like, oh, this big industry will come in to the area and provide jobs for the locals. But I don't know. I don't trust it.
I don't know. Like there's no way in my mind that it would actually like the desert, just like growing up there and stuff. I just couldn't imagine anything actually positive coming to that whole area. Like, I mean, there are places in the desert that are very wealthy, right? But like by and large, the desert has been a place where like just sheer fuckery goes down. You know what I'm saying? And like when it's that far out there, like when you're talking about Salton Sea, it's like I just couldn't imagine anything because I don't even know. Like, okay, even if you did do a mining facility there, let's just say the mining facility actually brought jobs, everything else. There's another part to this problem, which is migratory birds, like international migratory birds, started using the Salton Sea.
Yes.
So, like, if you dry it up or you change the composition too much, or or a whole host of things, if the mining facility isn't like compatible with those birds, you will literally kill off large amounts of like bird populations, right? And then that will trickle down to like whole other ecosystems, down to like all the way to South America. You know what I'm saying? Which is like kind of catastrophic. Like,
it is catastrophic, really man. Like,
yeah.
So these are some of the things which I always, like I was saying before, right? Like, if you trace down this line of thinking and reasoning that we've gone on since the start of our chat, like we would be like 5 seconds away from the end of the world.
Doomsday, yeah, man. Hell yeah. You know, like one thing I didn't like about that example is like you're talking about ripple effect, and ripple effect kind of sounds like it's in the ocean, or it's in some body of water that's like large, right? But like we're so interconnected right now, it's like you're in like a bucket. And you touch that water and like the ripples are gonna like hit back against each other. You know what I'm saying? Like I get what you're saying about the ripple effect, but like there's definitely like, oh, things are gonna hit back, and because they hit back, they went like this other way, or they did this, or
dog.
And humans are like inherently. Yeah, go ahead.
I was just gonna say technology has shrunk the world, dog.
I know. It's as if we're all together now.
But we're not. Dog, like, is this episode like the whole podcast? Like, are we becoming like too meta? Do we need to like go back to the?
Dude, I was gonna say some real meta shit. I was like, when you're talking about authenticity and stuff, I was like, it's actually just like layers of organisms, where like we're kind of fake ourselves, and then we use not like me and you, like people in general, right? We're real, okay, right? But people, they have some sort of fake aspect to them, or they switch it on and off. Like when they're talking to certain people, they have an aspect. When they talk to other people, they have a certain aspect, and they kind of switch off these modalities to themselves, right? And then we essentially, extension of that is the social media. And then an extension of the social media is like the news circles now. And the extension of the news circles is like the war and economies now sometimes, like, and it's just kind of like passing back and forth between like how fake we are and how fake, like, even our money system is really. Like, and a great point of that is like, hey, we're so fake, we want to act techie, we're going to buy NFTs. Now NFTs like trickles up to something actually worthwhile, And it's just, it's like this feedback. Goes back to that feedback, right? Like literally the person who first sold an NFT is a fucking liar. You know what I'm saying? Like he's just like, yeah, I'm a tech genius. Like this is gonna be the future. You know what I'm saying? Like, but it's just like also kind of just like a layer of fake. Like it's just that guy is the same as like the Instagram model that has the Gucci bag. You know what I'm saying? Like they're the same person. They're just hustling and lying to us. Like like so.
I feel you. So what can we do? Like, do you have some thoughts about? I don't want you to solve doom scrolling and like the effects thereof in this bucket that we're living in, but are there things that we can start thinking about like right now to sort of like maybe even like mitigate the psychological effects, or you know what I mean?
Yeah, honestly,
is it something that we can do, or are we doomed?
Damn. Well, I mean, okay. I'm gonna talk like at level 100, like super romantic, right? Which is like, first off, I don't think that being doomed and doing something to counter that doom is mutually exclusive. Right. Like I think humanity could be for sure doomed, and we could still do stuff that like delays, or like we could just fight to fight. You know what I'm saying? And towards that end, I think the fight to fight would be to like, this is gonna sound so cliche, but like to be empathetic. I think that's like a measure of authenticity, just to kind of tie everything back, right? It's like empathy is, how you can become authentic, how you could be vulnerable, how you could be honest, how you could understand what that person's going through, how you can solve problems. Right. And realistically, as long as humanity keeps solving problems, we will survive. But as soon as humanity is not able to solve problems, be it the ones that we create or the ones that come at us, that's when we're really doomed. And we're probably just delaying the inevitable, but I'm down to fight. I'm down.
Same here, man. Same here.
Yeah.
You know the one thing I really liked about like the whole concept of the doomsday clock is that you can set it forward and you can set it back. You know what I mean?
I do like that. Yeah. That's actually really, yeah.
So that means like basically what this, I guess what the artists that created it and the scientific body that is maintaining it are trying to tell us is that, it's never too late to do something to counter the effects of, pushing us towards the brink of the end of humanity, whichever way you want to, imagine that humanity will end.
Yeah. I think, I mean, what do you think, man? Like, how do you feel about, what can you do, Tenda?
All right, man. I'm going to log off of Instagram for a week. You know what I mean? Turn off the news cycle for a little bit,
Right.
That'll, hey, man, listen, like, if I log off of Instagram for a week, right, that means my phone battery is going to last a little bit longer. I need to charge it more than I usually do. And so on and so on. You can follow down, the all the effects. So
you're using less energy. We won't need Russia. Ukraine will stop being invaded. Yeah, for sure.
You know, like what one thing which I think like is, I guess, is hard to wrap around is like it's hard to see. I guess like when it comes to energy and recycling and all these things, like how like your little effort can contribute to, I guess, like reducing like negative effects. But that's sort of like the thing, right? Like,
bro, I'm gonna hit you gotta cut out that frappuccino to live the life you want.
Exactly. Yeah, so one less hour on Instagram, one less frappuccino a week, those kind of things, that's what you gotta do, man. That's what you gotta do. But yeah, man. Damn, man. Are we becoming like an energy podcast?
Yeah, now we're gonna tell people to correct their energy and have good energy only around us. You know what I'm saying?
Otherwise, we're gonna put you on blast on our podcast.
Yeah. Come in with the Zen or you're out.
I know.
Hey, man,
All
it
right,
was great talking
man.
to you, dude. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, dog. Fantastic chat. Hopefully, we won't be doom scrolling as much as we've been doing. That's what
Maybe
brought
next
us
week.
here. But yeah, maybe by next week we'll have happier news to talk about.
Technically, we didn't doom scroll for an hour, so prime.
Exactly. So we should record more podcast episodes.
Right.
That's the takeaway. All right, man. Thanks a lot, Mark. I appreciate you.
Hey, man, I appreciate you, dude. Peace.
Peace.